The absence of movement is staying in the same spot, but you just don't know where to start. And I'd like to get it from being outside rather than taking it in a bottle. And that's your first sign that you needed to change.
Check, check one, check, check.
You know you're ready for change when you physically feel ill. Maybe it's nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, wasting too many days penned up inside in darkness, wasting too many of these beautiful sunny days soaking up vitamin D. You know, we all can use extra vitamin D, and I'd like to get it from being outside rather than taking it in a bottle. I think a lot of times we just sit and wait for change to be handed over to us. We know that our lives need to change. Maybe it's we need to process things differently. We need to deal with things differently. And when you wait for somebody to make that change for you, I think the most important thing is the recognition of change, knowing that you need change in your life. So you might ask, how do you recognize that you're ready for change, or that you need change, or that you just can't keep going at the pace or the life that you think you need to live? You know that you definitely need to change something, but you just don't know where to start. My journey through change, or the beginning of change, it's a process, and I recognized the fact that I couldn't keep going at the pace, couldn't be doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. I know we've all heard that line. Knowing that I deserved more, I wanted more, and I needed to put me at the forefront of my own life. Your story might look different. All of our stories are different. Our lives are different. Our families are different. Our goals, our aspirations are different. But if you're looking for change, you don't have to start big. You don't have to make some kind of crazy, drastic, big change. You need to start small. I think the most important thing is to make a change and continue moving forward. The absence of change and the absence of movement is staying in the same spot. A small change might be just changing up your routine. We all tend to be very routine oriented. You set your alarm, you do this, you do that. Everything's in order. We make lists to make lists to make lists, and we're super organized. Maybe it's just making a really tiny change. Get up on the other side of the bed. Cut your hair. Dye your hair. Take a different route to work. Spend more time outside. Join a class, something that you've always thought you would do, but you've never done it before. But make sure you're making the change for you. I know as human beings, we often try to form people and mold them and make them into the best person they are because it works for us. Make sure that when you make change, you're making it for you. You're not making it to please anybody. You're not making it for recognition, to impress your boss, to do something cool for somebody else. Change needs to be for you. You need to feel good about it, and you really need to be cognizant of the fact that it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter that somebody else might not be impressed with it. Somebody else might not be happy with your change, because when you start to change, people can't manage you anymore. When you become your best possible self, it may not work into the narrative with what their expectation is of you. And that's okay. And that's your first sign that you needed to change. Absolutely. Otherwise, you're living your life to fill other people's needs, wants, dreams, goals, and yours get diminished. It's almost like being a servant to somebody. When you put yourself first and foremost and upfront and give yourself a reason to be your true authentic self, regardless of what the outside forces expect or want from you, it's exhilarating. It's like shedding a skin. It's like a snake shedding a skin. It's like you're shedding a mask of a person that you were trying to be, but it wasn't your true authentic self. I think a lot of us try to be a person, we're all kind of chameleons. We're a different person in our work life, in our family life, in our friend life, maybe in our bowling league or our dancing class. And we kind of morph into the pod that we're spending the time in. When you can be your true authentic self and be that same person with every group or every circle that you're in, you don't ever have to put that mask on. So take notice next time you're in a group environment, whether it's a work function, a family function, maybe you're out with friends, maybe you're at your bowling league or painting class. How do you physically feel? Do you have knots in your stomach? Are you able to be your true authentic self? Do you feel like you need to put a mask on because this person might think this person might expect that? You've got this persona that people are familiar with, and you need to live up to their expectations. If you say certain things or you act certain ways, maybe you'll be criticized, maybe you'll be outed from the group, maybe you'll be bullied, maybe you'll be cast out. Because you're no longer moldable, you're no longer controllable, and you're no longer living up to somebody else's expectation of you. I think the most important thing about change is being super aware when the change starts and how that makes you feel. It's empowering. It's liberating. And it's a reason to get up the next day. And that's the subtle awareness of change. One of the changes that I made that has been super healing for me is I've started spending more time outside. Hearing the birds, walking barefoot through the dirt, just getting in touch with nature, removing myself from the loud city noises, working on the yard, even if it's just picking weeds. It's not about the act of picking weeds. It's about being outside, feeling the wind, the rain, watching the northern lights. They're pretty magical, not gonna lie. Being aware that there's a plane flying overhead, and I'd really like to be on that plane right now. It's a little Cessna, super fun. Another important thing about change is having support, whether it's a partner, friends, family, people that you have a platform with that are supportive of your change, supportive and aware that you needed to change. How many times have you heard this bumper sticker? You've changed. Or the other one I love is, don't change a thing. I don't want you to change. And people get insecure when you start to change because, as I've said earlier, they can't manage you anymore. You're unpredictable. But if somebody came up to me and said, you've changed, I'd have to pat myself on the back and go, you damn rights I did. I needed to change. Have you ever had anybody tell you you needed to change? Have you ever had anybody say, don't change a thing? When you don't change, you stay in a stagnant hole. You stay in a place that's just comfortable. And comfortable isn't always good. There's a definite element of uncomfortableness with change, with evolution. And I think you always need to strive to be the best person that you can be. And staying stagnant isn't necessarily a good thing. Staying comfortable is not growth. Change is growth.